Alright guys, we are live. And it is Friday. And I'm grabbing the acoustic, so it's Friday night. I'm logging on my YouTube here. I just want to see kind of who's all on. I wonder if I can see my own video on here. Not really sure. Anyway, so it's Friday night. As you can see, it's raining out here, which that's cool. Raining is cool. All right, here we go. So I'm just pulling you guys up. I'm just pulling you guys up here so you can see. As you see, the title of the video, I wanted to share with you guys like the first Metallica song that I learned. And the reason I'm sharing this specific song with you guys, I'm gonna get started real soon. I'm just giving like people a chance to kind of come on. I didn't send out a notification I'm going live. I just went live. It's one of those things, like I got home today, I'm like, you know, I want to give my YouTube fans a live video. So here we are. And what better place to do it than out here on the patio. So I got my acoustic in hand. I'm going to share this song with you guys, and I want to share the reason, some of the reasons why like this became one of my favorite tunes, and I'm going to lead into how this helped me, how this particular song helped me with writing riffs down the road. So I want to share that with you guys as well. So we are here. We've got some people on now. I'm also going to share with you, because I know it's Friday, what beer I'm drinking. It's this one right here. You can't see it yet there. I'll share it with you shortly. We'll get to that. Alright, so let's get started, guys. So here it is. Let me just warm up here first. Playing metal on acoustic. And I'm gonna, with what I just did, I'm gonna share a small little tip to help you guys as well when it comes to practicing on acoustic versus on electric. So anyway, so first, the title of the video, what Metallica, wait, what did I call it? The first Metallica song I learned. And as I said, I'm going to give you guys some tips for writing metal riffs. So the first Metallica song I ever learned, and this is back when I first started playing in 1990. You guys, some of you guys know the story because you bought my book Heavy Metal and Weights, and I tell the story in that. And my uncle had this old acoustic, and it only had 4 rusty strings on it, the first 4 strings. So I started playing that, and this is shortly after I discovered metal music, because you know, I tell the story of how I met this dude on the bus from high school. He was jamming to something, and everybody thought it was weird, and I was like, dude, what are you listening to? I like it. And he's like, Metallica, man. And I'm like, okay. So I went out and took my grass cutting money and bought like 2 Metallica albums. I think it's Puppets and Justice. Never forget that. But anyway, so this is the first tune that I learned when I first started playing guitar. It's the first Metallica tune. I kind of murdered the chorus of that song. I was trying to remember, like, crap, I forgot the notes. I haven't played that song in so long. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. But so that was like the very first Metallica song that I ever learned. It was that. And what it is, real quick, I mean, I know you guys probably know the song, but just real quick, if you have your guitar in your hand, I'll show you if you don't know it. I know that there's several tabs out there for it, but you're using the first 4 strings, so your E, A, D, and G. Your E string and your G string, your 1st and 4th string, are open. And you're not hitting any frets on those. So the only strings you're fretting are the 2nd, 3rd string, your A and D string. And you start out, it's almost like a power chord. Your 2nd fret of the A string and your 4th fret of the D string. And with those other strings open, before and after that, it gives you this sound. A very killer, dark sound. I love it. And all we do here is just we move that up a step. So instead of 2 and 4, you're on 3 and 5. Then you go from 3 to 5 to 5 and 7. So if you have a guitar, do that. So I'm going to count the frets: 0, 2, 4, 0. 0, 2, 4, 0. Then we go 0, 3, 5, 0. Then we go 0, 5, 7, 0. And this other little riff, it's almost like playing a G. If you start out playing the G, but you're going to play those notes up, a whole step. So you're going to start the 1st string, 5th fret, 2nd string, 4th fret, and the other's open. Then you just go to the G on the 3rd, starting on the 3rd fret. So that's pretty much it. Now that's Sanitarium. I love that tune. It's a killer tune, killer lyrics. Welcome to where time stands still. No one leaves and no one will. Mood is full, never seems to change. It's labeled mentally deranged. Dream the same thing every night. See our freedom in my sight. No locked doors, no windows barred. Things to make my brain seem scarred. Sleep, my friend, and you will see. The dream is my reality. They keep me locked up in this cage. Good to see is why my brain says rage. So anyway, that's it. Very killer song, cool lyrics and all that good stuff. But that song, that's what I learned. That's my first Metallica song that I had learned back then. Now I want to kind of move from that. I want to share some tips for writing metal riffs. And I'm going to do another video and expand more on this, but what I'm going to give you right now, and I think this is very, very crucial. So here it is. This one tip that I'm going to give you, and this is going to help you. It's not only going to help you write better metal riffs or write metal riffs in general, it's also going to help you, become a better guitar player and musician overall. Take that song, for example. So you can learn that song, but what I'm going to challenge you to do is play that song or play whatever song. Just pick one song that you like a lot. Pick maybe 1 or 2 songs even that you like a lot. Throw up your iTunes or Spotify or Amazon, or if it's a CD. When I started doing this, we had these ancient little devices called cassette tapes. That was way back in the day. But what I would do back then is I would put in a tape. And yes, I would learn the song early on, but it got to the point where it was like I was tired of learning other people's music. There's nothing wrong with learning other songs. It's great practice. It's awesome. But when you want to venture from that to writing your own riffs, not only do you want to learn the song, but you want to be able to play something that complements that song that you're learning, that you like. So even if I didn't learn the particular song, I would kind of get the chord progression down, So like if I'm playing Sanitarium, let's say I didn't want to learn the notes. My chords are E minor, C, D, then A, G, or whatever. So you've got the general progression down, so you kind of know what notes are going to sound good, and then just start playing something along that complements that. Now, I know that's going to sound kind of far out in left field because you're like, well, dude, I don't know what to play. They're playing that. I want to play that too. So I'm going to tell you, if the first note starts on the E, find another note that goes with that. You've got an F sharp, you've got a G, you've got an A, you got a B, you got C, you got D. So you can play any of these notes. When you hear that first note, you can play a C. You can start with that. So when you hear this, try another note with that. Then bring in a third note. So if I were to play this, and you were to play this, and I wish I had another guitar player here right now, or I'd show you how it sounds. But seriously, so play, it's like, so I'm going to play that, and you play along. 1, 2, 3. See, as I'm playing that, you're playing. So right there, you have an example of writing a riff. You know, now you try something along with that. You just, you just pretend somebody's playing E minor, or if you're watching this with one of your guitar playing buddies, one of you like play an E minor. And then just start with any note other than E minor. I mean, you can start with E minor, you can start with an E note as well, but just start with another note. So instead of playing this, maybe play this. And what I'm trying to train our brains to do is think outside of just what we're hearing, right? So we hear this song, and naturally we gravitate towards playing those notes, but I want you to kind of step back in your mind. It's like an out-of-body experience almost, or out-of-something experience, but step back away from that and say, okay, I don't want to play what they're playing, but I want to play something that sounds good with that. I want to play something that complements that. And if you put in a song, again, if you listen to iTunes, Amazon, whatever, if you do that, put in a song that you like, and then just start messing around with some of the notes. You're gonna know if you hit a bad note, if you hit a wrong, there's no such thing as a wrong note, but you're gonna know if you hit a note that doesn't quite fit in that progression. You're gonna know. If you're playing E minor, let's do something real simple, right? Let's play an E minor. Let's play C and a D. Very, very simple, kind of dark, metal-ish, rockish. So if I were playing that progression, I know that I've got a plethora of notes that I can play. So if we're doing this, now let's try to hit a bad note. I'm just going to make up a note that doesn't fit. Oops. See, you're going to know, and I did that on purpose, you're going to know if you hit a wrong note. So I think I went to an F note in a progression that's E minor, C and G. I'm sorry, C and D. And I don't want to get into theory what notes belong where or whatever, but forget about that. You're going to hear it. You're going to know. You're like, okay, that didn't sound right. So make note of that. No pun intended. Note. Yeah. So seriously, make a mental note of that wrong note that you hit, and just remember, okay, well, don't hit that note again in this progression. Now, sometimes you can hit something that's kind of off, and it sounds weird. You don't mean to do it, but it ends up sounding cool. It fits. But you will know. Just listen to it. Listen for it. You'll know if it does not fit. Your guitar instinct will tell you. So I don't want you to make this overly complex either. When you're playing, if you're just starting out, maybe you just choose 3 notes. You say, okay, I hear that progression. I know that these notes right here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just find 3 notes anywhere. And I want you to play around with those 3 notes. It's one way you can play it. It's another way. That's another. So there's a lot of possibility. Even just 3 notes, there's a lot of possibilities. And then start adding more notes. Maybe add one more. Oops. That one. Then add another note. So just kind of gradually move into that, and that is going to help you. That's going to help you pick out lead patterns that fit certain progressions, but it's also going to help you with your riff writing. And again, I get a lot of questions on, you know, Jason, how do you come up with riffs? How do you just sit down and write riffs? And now these days, I literally just sit down and I write a riff. It's just you know, I've sucked at many things in life. I just, you know, I happen to be good at this one thing. So, you know, I'm very thankful for that. But I've also spent a lot of time over the course of my life practicing a lot, guys, a lot, like hours and hours and hours. Especially when I was in my teens, when I first started playing, I would just lock myself in the room while the other kids are out partying and going out and doing whatever. I was in my room playing guitar. You know, this is what I wanted to do. But, you know, all that said, you know, I want you to get used to when you hear that riff, when you hear something. So let's play it in a metal sense, you know. So now what I want you to do, we're just keeping it simple, staying with the E minor, the C, and the D. I want you to hit a note like up here where you would normally do a riff. So let's just have 3 notes again. Playing this, you can do this. Just 3 notes, add a 4th one in. Now that could be your transition riff. So now you see what I'm talking about, and I'm not necessarily wanting you to learn what I just played. What I'm really trying to get you to the point to where you can just come up with something on the fly. If you hear something, you're like, okay, I hear the song, but I don't have to play those notes. I can learn the progression or whatever, but I want to play something different. So let me find a note to start with that sounds good with that progression. 1 note, you know, do this 1 note at a time. Okay. Maybe I need to stop and rewind it, or you know, take the song back a little bit and play it again. Let's add a 2nd note. Let's add a 3rd note, and then just start playing around. And you're going to be amazed at some of the things you can come up with. You know, so you do that. You listen to the song. You start just throwing some random notes in there. Then turn the song off and play those random notes you just played. You've got your riff. So you get used to writing riffs that way. This is probably one of the greatest tips I can give you guys. And guys, if this is not making sense to you, I mean, some of you are probably getting it, but there may be some of you, if you're like me, I got to read the book like twice, sometimes 3 times to get it. That's okay, it's fine. But if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm pointing to my laptop here because I'm watching you guys. But please leave some comments and let me know if I need to clarify anything on this video, because I do want to do another video on this, you know, on this type of thing. I want to share this with you guys and really help you guys become better at writing metal riffs. So I think it's a very, very important thing to do if you're a guitar player and you're serious about your craft. So you're probably wondering by now, what's Jason drinking today? I am so glad you asked. So what I have is, I've got a milk stout. And it's by a kind of a weird brewery here, weird name. It's called the Duck Rabbit Craft Brewery. Very plain label there, but it's called the Duck Rabbit. Now this brewery is based out of North Carolina, and I'll tell you exactly where it's from. I know some of you on here are from North Carolina, so it's Farmville, North Carolina. And again, it's just a plain milk stout. It's nothing fancy. There's no chocolate taste or coffee taste or any kind of, you know, barrel age or whatever. And I like all of those things, but I was looking for just a plain stout. I'm like, you know, I want to get just a really nice stout beer. I like Guinness, but with all the craft beers out there, I want to get something. I can get Guinness anywhere, you know. So I want to have something to have on the patio here with you guys. So as you can see, I've already had a few sips of this. The bottle is indeed dry. Oop, there's a little bit in there. So let's have a small sip. Yeah, it's just a good solid stout. And we're in November now, so the weather's not as hot. I mean, I live in Florida. Like, it never really gets cold. There's a few days, like 2 days of the year. But it's cooling down a little bit. So I tend to gravitate, you know, from IPAs, which I drink a lot in the summertime, to the darker porters and stouts and those types of beers. So anyway, a little bit about this one. They call themselves the Dark Beer Specialist, which is very cool. And what else did I read on here? It's made in, of course, Farmville, North Carolina, and it's proudly, I thought this was interesting, it's proudly handmade in small batches. So they don't do this stuff in big batches. And I think when it's like buying stuff. Whenever you have things made in small batches, I think the quality has a tendency to be better because there's more focus put on the product. Whereas if you've got like mass production, then, you know, sometimes things get left in the cracks and it's not as good. All right, so I'm gonna play one more tune for you guys. I hope you guys are having a good Friday so far. I thought it was gonna stop raining, but it hasn't, but that's okay. I love being out here on the patio, and hey, I may do some more videos out here for you guys too, because I want to show you some different riffs, you know, on acoustic. I practice metal a lot on acoustic. I need new strings. These are elixirs. They're starting to go dead. I've had these things on here for over a year. Elixir's not paying me to say this, although if you guys want to throw me some cash, you can. But no, this is like the only string that I use now, the elixirs. But yeah, I've had these strings well over a year. Still sound pretty good, but they are starting to get a little dead. But I do like to practice metal on acoustic, because when you play anything on acoustic, then you go grab your electric, you're like blazing through the notes. It's really, really cool. So I like to practice on here quite a bit. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have questions regarding songwriting and coming up with metal riffs, if you have some specific questions, I hope the tip that I gave you, I know I greatly expanded on that today, but I really hope that helps you. But please let me know if that makes sense to you. You know, picking a song and just adding your own flavor to it, adding your own notes to it, and then stop the song and then play those notes you just played. You've got your riff, and it does something to your mind. It's not that you played this like this is my riff now. Okay, that's fine, but it triggers something in your mind. You know, it's like reading something and reading it over and over and over. You get it, like something clicks in there. It's like, okay, I can do this now. I know it is part of me. And the more you practice that, the more you practice, because what you're practicing, and I know I'm harping on this, but I really think it's important. What you're practicing writing riffs. You're practicing coming up with something that sounds good with something else, and that's how you write riffs. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video today, and until next time, as always, keep it metal. Now I've got to figure out how to stop this video. I think it's right here. There we go.